to bring us home this evening, I would like to welcome to the stage Julia Massey. She's been writing songs most of her life. She's been inspired by the morals and ideas found in Aesop's Fables, and she's going to pay homage tonight to that influence. So let's please bring out Julia Massey, everybody.
Thank you. Oh. I think I'm getting the entourage for free tonight, and I'm feeling mightily special about that. Wow, I am so happy to be at a Bushwick book club again. This is one of my happy places. I am a freckle-faced, strawberry blonde, pale person who is wearing a myriad of layers because I'm in Seattle during an Arctic freeze, which include a cashmere maroon underlayer here. I've got some lace and floral overlay, and then a vintage jacket that I wear to sleep sometimes because it's very comfortable. The reason that I am so excited about this particular song is because it comes from an Aesop fable that I grew up with. My folks are actually in the audience tonight. They flew out from Maryland yesterday on a plane with really tight screws. And I'm so happy that they're here because I was read these fables growing up. And the one that jumped out at me that I knew I had to do was City Mouse, Country Mouse. Now, I've always identified as a city mouse, but I have lived in the country, and I have fond memories of the country mousedom. But I am in the city also for a reason. But I have to say that when I read this book, Aesop is pretty biased here towards, I'll let you decide who he's biased towards by the end here. So this is the country mouse and the city mouse. Annie Mouse lived quietly in the country. One day her friend from the city came to visit her. Annie was delighted. "Melissa, dear, welcome to the country," she said. "Do come in." Annie Mouse asked some friends in for lunch. But Melissa did not eat one nibble of the meal Annie proudly served. "In the city I dine on spice cake and wine," said the city mouse, rather grandly. "In the city I have a machine that plays music and I dance on a velvet carpet," said Melissa. I would have added that I go to Bushwick Book Club at Town Hall sometimes, but that's just me. "Oh, Annie, won't you leave this dull country life behind and come to the city with me?" "My, it does sound tempting," said Annie. So Annie rode off to the city with her friend. "Honk, honk, beep, beep, toot, toot." "Please drive slowly," begged Annie. "Can't hear a word," screamed Melissa. "Isn't it marvelous fun?" Melissa's home in the city was beautiful and such fun to explore. Gaily they raced down the hall. Suddenly, oof! Barked a fierce, angry voice. "Help, it's the dog," squeaked Melissa. And the two friends ran, shaking with fright. They slammed the dining room door just in time. The poor country mouse almost fainted with fear. But Melissa said, "Oh, he chases me all the time. Come, Annie, climb up on the table beside me. Have you ever seen such food?" "Never," gasped Annie, still shaking with fright. There were dainty bits of spice cake and fine cheese, and even a drop of wine in the glasses. "Oh, I am seeing things," squeaked Annie. "Oh, I see a cat!" Uh-oh. "It is a cat," cried Melissa. "Run, run!" They slammed the living room door just in time. "Oh," sobbed Annie, "I have never been so frightened." "Nonsense, you'll get used to it," said Melissa. "There, I put on the music machine. Would you care to dance?" "Slow down, Melissa." Suddenly, the door flew open and there was a fearful noise. "Boo. It's the vacuum cleaner," shrieked Melissa. "Hold on tight to that curtain, Annie. Hold tight or the vacuum will gobble you right up." At last, the dreadful machine left and the country mouse began to run. "Annie, where are you going?" called Melissa. "Home to the country," squeaked Annie. "Goodbye, Melissa. Thank you for the very nice time. Oh, help. Oh!" The little mouse ran through the city. She ran and ran and ran. And she did not stop until she was safe in the quiet green country. That night she told her gentle friends, I would rather lead a simple life than dine on riches and live in fear. That concludes the story part of this presentation. Thank you, Aesop. I think we can all draw the same conclusion, which is that the city mouse is evil and the country mouse is pious from that. Now, I have to tell you that for me, I've always felt that I want to walk the middle way. So that means that people who are on either side, who are extremists, sometimes only see their enemy behind you. And I think that the country mouse feels that way about the city mouse, and the city mouse feels that way about the country mouse. Well, a couple of weeks ago, some rodents in my city environment decided that they wanted to move into my city home. They were not mice, but they were squirrels. So I'm going to go with this here, okay? So we noticed there was some scratching. They had gone through this one little tiny hole that we didn't even know existed just above the gutter. And our neighbors across the street, who are 4 years old and 6 years old, sounded the alarms right away. There's squirrels going in your house! And what ended up ensuing was we had a series of things that we wanted to be, it's just not humane, it's squirrel-ane friendly. We didn't want to harm these squirrels, but we also didn't feel like it was fair to us or to them to cohabitate. So through a series of trial and errors, including spraying some putrescent egg spray, which my partner said smelled horrendous, but I admit to you, I thought it smelled kind of great, and I was hungry when I smelled the stench. I'm not afraid to admit that at Bushwick Book Club. We got the squirrels out. But now, as you know, it was a couple weeks ago that this occurred. We have had an Arctic freeze settle here into the Pacific Northwest. And yesterday, they used their little squirrel teeth and they pulled out all the chicken wire and they choked down the rotten egg stench, and they're back in, folks. And here's the middle way and the in-between that I want to take with these squirrels. You all have until it warms up, okay? Like, I get it. You are going to freeze to death. But as soon as those rains come back and that cloud comes back, it's on. The egg spray is coming for you, and it's actually good for all of us. So my whole sense of this is I'm meeting the squirrels in between. And that's what I wish that the city mice and country mice of the United States and this world could do more of. So that's what this song's about. It's called In Between. Country mouse loves her house, eats whole foods, feels good moods. But when she's out in the city, things aren't so pretty, so she must announce. Yeah, when she's out in the city, things aren't so pretty, so she must announce. Holy me's. An aside, that is how you say city mouse in ancient Greek. So it will rhyme, but polymees means that. So she must retreat. But what if country and city had a brand new committee? Where would they meet? In between, you, Bushwick Book Club. I love you.
It don't matter what your age
Julia Massey, everybody.
is, right here at the Bushwick Book Club.